What's up guys? Today I've got a very fun video for you, and that is all of the changes I would make to cards in Wild, and that includes both nerfs and buffs. So let's get right into it. The first change that I would make should surprise nobody, and that is that I would change Void Caller to 5 mana. Everybody knows that Void Caller is broken. It pulls out 9 drops as early as turn 3. It completely ruins the game for some aggro decks that are playing very fairly. I think aggro decks should be strong in Wild, and I think that this card unfairly enables a lot of Warlock archetypes that just wouldn't be good otherwise. Ultimately, this card is unhealthy for Wild. I think at 5 mana it's still very good and Warlock decks will play it, but they need to be a little bit smarter about how they build their lists. The second change I would make to Warlock is I would make Plague of Flames 2 mana. Now if you look back at Snip Snap Warlock, the best card in that deck was not even Snip Snap or Meg Warper, it was Plague of Flames, and that's because this is probably the best card ever printed. I think this card should be changed to 2 mana and it would still be incredibly good, it just wouldn't warp the meta by itself. And the last change I would make to Warlock is I would change Blood Bloom to deal double health instead of normal health on each spell that you cast with it. Effectively, this would hit Darkest Hour heaviest because Darkest Hour has to play Darkest Hour for 6, which means that when they play Darkest Hour, they would be hit for 12 health. That would mean you just can't cast Darkest Hour with Blood Bloom if you are at 12 health or under, and it would also mean that despite getting a combo, you will oftentimes get hit over the top. So Darkest Hour will still be a combo deck, it'll still be okay, it just won't be extremely good against everything. Cabal Crystal Runner, new text, costs 1 less for each spell you've played this game. Now this card is just too good. Secret Mage has great tempo via secrets, and now it has great tempo on board via 0 mana 5/5s. I think the combination of those two is just a little too good, and therefore I'd like to see Cabal Crystal Runner become a 0-cost guy only at the very end of the game and not as early as turn 4 or turn 5. The other change I would make to Mage is I would make Arcane Flak Mage only deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. This would mean the card is still very strong, but when combined with 0-cost secret effects, it isn't a board wipe. Because of that, this would make the card a lot more fair, and I think those two changes shore up a lot of the ridiculous things that Mage can do, which would make it a lot more of a fair deck with more counterable strategies. Now, the next change I think pretty much everyone will agree with as well, and that is Divine Favor to 5 mana. Now, Divine Favor is a great draw engine for pretty much any Paladin deck that can dump their hand, especially Mech Paladin right now. The problem with Divine Favor is it's just so easy to play, especially if your opponent has 10 cards and you have 3, you can play this for 3 mana and then you can spend the rest of your mana on whatever you want. Because you have so many cards, you have a ton of choices and you can usually do something ridiculous. But changing this to 5 mana does 2 things. 1, it makes playing 2 of them way worse, because right now if you draw 2 Divine Favor, it's not too hard to play one and then play the other one later. But if it's 5 mana, it's difficult to play the first and it's much more difficult to play the second. And the second reason is of course just so that it comes down way later. 5 mana is a lot more, and it means that it can't be used as a tempo draw on turn 3 or 4. You have to wait until there's a really good reason to play it, which makes it a lot more fair. Just wanted to remind you guys that my content is created for you guys, and I'm interested to hear what you'd like to see next. So go ahead and leave a comment down below if there's anything you'd like to see. Also keep in mind that all my content is recorded live on Twitch every single night at 11 o'clock PST. Also consider, if you have an unused Twitch Prime subscription, to donate it to the stream if you appreciate the content. And I also have my Discord link in the description. If you join my Discord, you'll get access to every single Wild competitive deck list that you see in my videos or elsewhere, and you'll get an @here notification every time I go live. Now that's it for the nerfs I would make to Wild. Let's talk about what buffs I would make. The first is that I would change the mechanic on Unseen Saboteur so that they don't get the extra turn that it gives them right now. Currently, because of this interaction, there's no reliable counter to Time Warp from Quest Mage or Reno Quest Mage, and I think that this simple change would make Unseen Saboteur a great tech against many combo decks, and therefore quite fair as a strategy to counter Reno Quest Mage and regular Quest Mage. Also, shout out Hijo for the idea on this one. I actually did not know about this interaction before he told me. And the last change I would make is I would change Wild Growth to 2 mana. When all the Druid cards were hit back in the day, it made sense. Druid was extremely powerful, but right now, a lot of other decks have risen to prominence, Mage and Warlock especially, and because of that, Druid is in a bit of a bad spot right now, and he could really use some help. Wild Growth at 2 mana would do just that without doing anything particularly unfair. Now, ramping on 2 is great for Druid because they can curve into their many strong 4-cost cards that they have, and it'll serve as a great replacement for combo decks running Jade Blossom when really all they want is the ramp and not the 1/1. It's a change that wouldn't shake up Wild too much, but it would bring Druid back, and personally, I'm just a big Druid fan. I think this change was just a little bit too mean to my boy Malfurion, so Blizzard, let's bring it back. That's all the changes I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you on ladder.